Hello, Vinod.
Hello, ma'am.
Vinod.
Hello.
Vinod, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
கேக்குதா
ma'am.
வினோத்?
You're audible, ma'am.
ஓகே
Yes, ma'am.
ஓகே.
You're audible, ma'am.
என்ன
Shall we
பண்ணலாம்?
start the
ஸ்டார்ட்
class?
பண்ணலாமா?
Yes, ma'am. We can start the class, ma'am.
எஸ் எஸ். 1:15 has joined. Okay. Okay, today's class is about RH negative pregnancy.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Audible இல்ல Vinod?
Yes, ma'am. It's audible. Ma'am.
சரி. So we are going to see about RH negative pregnancy. Okay, so this is a high risk pregnancy. So why RH negative is important, we will see later. First, we will see what is the what do you mean by RH negative. We will see. Next slide, pa. Next slide. Okay. Usually the incidence is only 5% in our country. So it depends upon the different races. So our country it is 5%. So 100 people, five people will be affected by RH negative blood group. Next slide. 5%. Remember that. Next slide. Vinod? Next slide, pa. Any problem?
Hello. Hello,
What
ma'am.
happened? Next. Hello. Vinod.
Next slide. Vinod. Yes, ma'am. 1 minute.
Yes. Yes.
There is.
Okay. Shall I continue?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We can continue.
RH factor is nothing but it is an antigen present on the red blood cell. So it is an antigen present on the red blood cell, RH factor. Next slide, pa. There are 3 types of antigen, C, D, and E. So the RH factor depends upon D antigen. So if the D antigen is present on the red blood cell, it is called RH positive. If the D antigen is absent, it is RH negative. So 5% of people will be lacking in the D antigen. So they are RH negative. Okay. So next slide. Okay. What happened in RH negative mother if she becomes pregnant? Okay. So what is the pathophysiology? So if the RH negative mother, if she carries an RH positive fetus, RH negative fetus means nothing will happen. If she carries an RH positive fetus, the RH positive fetus means it has an antigen on the red blood cell. So this red blood cell antigen crosses the placental barrier and it enters into the maternal circulation. Okay. So already she is RH negative, she is lacking the antigen. So this fetal RBC antigen, if it enters into the maternal blood circulation during pregnancy, it will produce immune reaction. Antigen will produce immune reaction in the mother and she will produce antibodies. Okay. So that is the pathophysiology. So this RH antigen once entered into the maternal circulation during pregnancy through placental circulation, mother will produce RH antibodies. That is called as sensitization, primary sensitization. Next slide. Okay, what happened? Once the antibodies are produced, these circulating anti-D antibodies from the maternal circulation, again it enters into the fetus through placenta. These antibodies, once it enters into the fetus, it will affect the fetal RBC. Okay, thereby causing destruction of the RBC. Antibodies will destroy the RBC and leading to hemolysis. Hemolysis, then it leads to fetal anemia. Severe fetal anemia will lead to fetal hydrops and fetal loss. This is the pathology in the Rh negative sensitized mother, not all Rh. We will see that later. So what happens? This is the basic of Rh negative pregnancy. So Rh antibodies, anti-D antibodies produced in mother will cross the placental circulation, enters into the fetus. In the fetus, these antibodies will destroy the RBC, so leading to hemolysis. Hemolysis leading to fetal anemia. Anemia leads to swelling of the baby, that is fetal hydrops, accumulation of fluid in the third space like pleural effusion, pericardial effusion, ascites, all over edema. So then leading on, that is called as hydrops fetalis. Then leading on to severe cases will lead to fetal loss. So Rh negative pregnancy, the fetus is affected more. Mother, there is no complication. Only the fetus, we are worried about the fetus. Okay. So this is called as hemolytic disease of fetus and newborn. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is, see, once the Rh negative mother comes, not all babies will be affected. We have to see the blood group of the father. If the blood group of the father is Rh negative, the baby will also be Rh negative. So there is no immune reaction. Everybody will be lacking antigen. So Rh positive negative mother, we have to see blood group. Once the patient becomes Rh negative, you have to see the blood. Immediate next step, you have to see the blood group of the father, whether he is positive or negative. Negative means nothing to worry. Positive means that also we have to see whether she is, no need to see, but we should know whether he is homozygous or heterozygous. If homozygous, now 100% of the baby will be Rh positive. If heterozygous, now 50% will be Rh negative, 50% will be Rh positive. Okay. So if it is Rh negative, see, first is Rh negative mother and Rh positive father. If the baby is Rh negative, no sensitization. If the baby is Rh positive, negative means no sensitization. Positive means what I told already is given here. Okay, next. Okay. So if the not all pregnancy will be sensitized, all Rh mother will be having hydrops fetalis babies. What are all the events that causes feto-maternal circulation? That is bleeding from baby to the mother. So during pregnancy, some events will cause sensitization, that is bleeding from the mother to the fetus to the mother. What are the events that causes feto-maternal hemorrhage? That is feto-maternal, from the fetus to the mother. So in the case of first trimester means any abortions, wherever there is bleeding, there will be crossage of fetal blood cell to the mother. So like abortion, MTP, ectopic, first trimester means all these things, ectopic pregnancy. Then comes the invasive prenatal testing like amniocentesis, cordocentesis, wherever bleeding. Next, antepartum hemorrhage. Then like placental abruption. Abruption means definitely there is leakage of blood from the placental bed to the mother. Okay. Then any external cephalic version, while we are trying the breech to convert into cephalic, there will be some disruption in the placenta. So bleeding into the maternal. Then comes the delivery. The most large feto-maternal hemorrhage will occur mostly during delivery. These are all the events we have feto-maternal hemorrhage. Okay. Next. In primigravida, if she is sensitized, if she has already antibodies, means you have to think in terms of prior blood transfusion, where without unknowingly she has been given Rh positive blood. She will be Rh negative. Unknowingly she would have received Rh positive blood. In that case, first pregnancy itself will be affected if there is prior blood transfusion. Okay, so once the patient comes with Rh positive, Rh negative, we have to ask the history. So any prior blood transfusion, any prior abortions, prior deliveries. Okay. Then you have to check the blood group of the father. Okay. Then next come. And even in the first booking itself, we have to see the antibodies. First Rh negative mother, first visit itself, we can do antibody titer. That is indirect Coombs test, ICT. First visit itself, we can do whether the patient is already sensitized, already has antibodies. Usually primary gravidala antibodies irukadu. Only when abortion ஆனாலோ, miscarriage ஆனாலோ, இல்ல delivery ஆனாலோ தான் fetal-maternal hemorrhage இருக்கும். அப்ப next pregnancy தான் affect ஆகும். First pregnancy usually affect ஆகாது. பட் இருந்தாலும் நம்ம first pregnancy-லயே first visit-லயே ICT
Hello, ma'am.
One second.
Hello.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You are audible, ma'am.
Okay. So first visit itself, we can do antibody titer, whether the pregnant mother is already has antibodies. So if it is negative means we can repeat at 28 weeks. 28 weeks also negative means we can give prophylactic anti-D immunoglobulin, because during pregnancy, unknowingly, during late third trimester, there may be fetal-maternal hemorrhage. Minimal amount of hemorrhage may be going on. So to prevent that, without any bleeding, without any invasive procedure, without anything, there may be some amount of fetal-maternal hemorrhage in the late third trimester, not in the beginning. So 28 weeks we can give prophylactically anti-D immunoglobulin to prevent that immune reaction. Okay. So we have to do antibody titer. First visit 28 weeks, give anti-D immunoglobulin. If the titer is negative, then we can conduct delivery. Okay. Next. So routine anti-D, when you will give anti-D will happen, will do what? It will desensitize the patient. Antibodies destroy panade. Immunization will not happen. So anti-D immunoglobulin we have to give. When all you will give anti-D immunoglobulin? So prophylactically I said no. In the first pregnancy itself at 28 weeks. If want, we can repeat once more at 34 weeks. Next, whenever there is abortion, immediately after abortion, we have to give anti-D immunoglobulin. After ectopic pregnancy, after any invasive procedure, after any antepartum hemorrhage, okay, there all you have to give anti-D immunoglobulin. After delivery, within 48 hours or 72 hours, we have to give anti-D immunoglobulin. Then only it will have its maximum effect. How much dose we will give? 300 microgram we have to give IM injection. Abortion, invasive procedure, antepartum hemorrhage, after delivery. Here all we have to give anti-D immunoglobulin. If it is less than 12 weeks, 50 or 150 microgram is enough, IM or dose. If it is third trimester or delivery means we have to give 300 microgram of anti-D immunoglobulin. Thereby we will prevent immunization and high drops prevent pannalam. Baby save pannalam. Next. So this is about the mechanism of action of anti-D. See, the Rh positive fetal RBC enters the maternal circulation or destroyed by anti-D immunoglobulin. So thus the D antigen is not allowed to be presented to the maternal immune system. So it will destroy the antigen. Okay, so it prevents sensitization. Okay, next. The basic problem is in the mother. So we have to give anti-D to the mother to destroy the immune reaction. Okay, so this, but thereby giving immunization, we are reducing the 16% sensitization to 1.6%. So it will 300 microgram will neutralize 15 ml of RBC or 30 ml of blood. See, then large doses are needed when there is large fetal-maternal hemorrhage. நிறைய high 300 microgram க்கு மேல எப்ப வேணும் அப்படின்னா large fetal-maternal நிறைய blood from the fetus to the mother போச்சுன்னா பத்தாது 300 microgram. So we have to give more amount of anti-D immunoglobulin. It is assessed by Kleehar Betke test. எவ்வளோ amount of blood வந்து ஃபீட்டர்ல இருந்து மதருக்கு போயிருக்குன்றத டெஸ்ட் பண்றதுக்கு Kleehar Betke test ன்னு ஒரு டெஸ்ட் இருக்கு. You read it from the book. Okay. Next slide. எப்பெல்லாம் large fetal maternal hemorrhage வரும்? So like traumatic delivery, any rupture uterus, wherever there is bleeding, traumatic delivery forceps, அந்த மாதிரிலாம் இருக்கும்பொழுது vaginal tear, then cervical tear, traumatic delivery வரலாம். Abruptionல large fetal maternal hemorrhage வரலாம். Manual removal of placenta, நம்ம போய் கையை விட்டு உள்ள எடுத்துட்டு இருக்கும்பொழுது நிறைய disruption of cervix இருக்கும். So it will enter fetal cells. Then still birth IUD, இங்கெல்லாம் large fetal maternal hemorrhage இருக்கும். எவ்வளவு amount of எவ்வளவு ஆன்டிடி கொடுக்கணும்ன்றத Kleehar Betke test வச்சு like 15 ml of fetal cells 15 ml of fetal cell 300 microgram try பண்ணோம் மாதிரி கால்குலேட் பண்ணோம் எவ்வளவு amount of fetal cell போயிருக்கு அப்படின்றத வச்சு. நெக்ஸ்ட் ஹலோ ஹலோ ஹலோ
Hello. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We are here.
Okay.
இந்த தானே மேம் இந்த ஸ்லைடா நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்லைட் மேம்
next slide pa.
Shall you put the next slide or this slide?
One second. Yes, next slide.
Hello.
Next slide pa.
Next slide, go to yes ma'am.
Okay. So how will you manage? See, we have seen about anti-D, what is happening we have seen. So how will you manage non-sensitive pregnancy? It's like when the father is Rh negative, no further testing is needed. When the father is Rh positive, I said no, antibody screen at first booking, then at 28 weeks, then every 4 weeks we have to repeat. If the ICT, that is indirect Coombs test, is positive, then we have to manage as the patient is sensitized, the baby may get affected. And the Mari, we have to evaluate whether baby is getting affected. Next we will see. So if it is negative, anti-D at 28 weeks and also delivery if the baby is positive. Next. Next slide. So what are the one? I said Kleehar Betke test, other test for fetal maternal, how to identify fetal maternal hemorrhage means PCR, FISH, latest ROSA test. This are not very much needed. Next slide. Kleehar Betke test, remember. Okay. So this is, see when the first, this is the routine protocol, how to proceed with Rh negative mother. Okay. So first antenatal visit, determine Rh status of the woman. If Rh negative, determine Rh status of the husband. சரியா? Rh negative woman at the Rh positive husband இருந்தா நம்ம என்ன பண்ணோம்? Perform ICT titer. ICT titer வந்து positive நெகட்டிவா இருந்தா patient இன்னும் sensitize ஆகல, அவங்க நார்மலா இருக்காங்க, பேபி அஃபெக்ட் ஆகாது. ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பிரெக்னன்சில மோஸ்ட்லி பேபி அஃபெக்ட் ஆகாது, ஏன்னா ஆல்ரெடி fetal maternal hemorrhage இருக்காது. செகண்ட் பேபி தான் மோஸ்ட்லி அஃபெக்ட் ஆகும். ஸோ அதனால ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பேபி நத்திங் டு வரி. ஸோ நெகட்டிவா இருந்தா ஒரு ஆன்டிடி 28 வீக்ஸ்ல கிவ் ஆன்டிடி ப்ரொஃபைலாக்சிஸ் அட் 28 to 32 வீக்ஸ். தென் டெலிவரிக்கு அப்புறம் ஒரு ஆன்டிடி கொடுக்கணும். இது ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பிரெக்னன்சிக்கு. செகண்ட் பிரெக்னன்சில இந்த ஐசிடி டைட்டர் சப்போஸ் ஜாஸ்தியா இருக்குன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க, இட் இஸ் ஐசிடி டைட்டர் பார்த்து பாசிட்டிவா இருந்ததுன்னா யூ ஹாவ் டு சி த டைலூஷன். டைலூஷன் எவ்வளவு இருக்குன்னா கட் ஆஃப் வந்து யூஸ்வலா 1/16. ஸோ 1/16 அவங்க கொடுப்பாங்க, லேப்ல ரிப்போர்ட் கொடுப்பாங்க. ஸோ 1/16க்கு கீழே இருந்ததுன்னா கொஞ்சம் நத்திங் டு வரி, கொஞ்சம் அஃபெக்ஷன் வந்து வெரி மைல்டு. 1/16 மேல போச்சுன்னா ஆல்ரெடி பேபி அஃபெக்ட் ஆயிருக்குன்னு அர்த்தம். ஸோ 1/16க்கு கீழே இருந்ததுன்னா ரிப்பீட் 22 வீக்ஸ்ல ரிப்பீட் பண்ணி பார்க்கணும். 2 வீக்ஸ்ல ரிப்பீட் பண்ண நார்மலா இருக்கு அப்படின்னா ஒன்னும் பண்ண வேண்டாம், அப்ப ஆன்டிடி ப்ரொஃபைலாக்சிஸ் கொடுத்துட்டு டெலிவரி கண்டக்ட் பண்ணணும் டேர்ம்ல. இஃப் ஐசிடி டைட்டர் மோர் தென் 1/16 இருந்ததுன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க, தென் எவ்ரி 2 வீக்ஸ் மானிட்டர் பண்ணும். என்ன எப்படி மானிட்டர் பண்ணுவோம் அப்படின்னா அல்ட்ராசோனோகிராம் பண்ணணும். அல்ட்ராசோனோகிராம்ல வந்து வாட் வி ஹவ் டு see மீன்ஸ் எய்தர் பேபி ஆல்ரெடி அஃபெக்ட் ஆயிருக்கா, ஆல்ரெடி எடிமா இருக்கா, எஃப்யூஷன் இருக்கா, அசைட்டிஸ் இருக்கா, வெதர் பேபி இஸ் ஆல்ரெடி அஃபெக்டட் அண்ட் வி கேன் see. அப்படி இல்லைன்னா இன்னொரு ஃபேக்டர் என்னன்னா மிடில் செரிப்ரல் ஆர்டரி பிஎஸ்வி டாப்லர் பண்ணும். மிடில் செரிப்ரல் ஆர்டரி டாப்லர் அனீமியால எல்லாம் இது ஜாஸ்தி இருக்கும். அனீமியா, ஃபீட்டல் அனீமியா இருந்ததுன்னா மிடில் செரிப்ரல் ஆர்டரி பிளட் ஃப்ளோ will be more ஃபார் பிரைன் ஸ்பேரிங் எஃபெக்ட் மாதிரி பிரைனை ஃபீட் பண்றதுக்காக பிளட் ஃப்ளோ நிறைய இருக்கும். ஸோ அனீமியால ஃபீட்டல் அனீமியால ஹீமோலைசிஸ்ல ஃபீட்டல் அனீமியா ஆகி அங்க மேல நமக்கு வந்து பிளட் ஃப்ளோ நிறைய இருக்கும். அதுதான் மிடில் செரிப்ரல் ஆர்டரி பீக் சிஸ்டாலிக் வெலாசிட்டி பார்க்கணும். ஸோ அது வந்து சிம்பிள், நான் இன்வேசிவ். ஸோ அதனால அல்ட்ராசோனோகிராம் இஸ் ஏ நான் இன்வேசிவ் மெத்தட் லைக் ஆம்னியோசென்டசிஸ், கார்டோசென்டசிஸ்லாம் உள்ள போய் எடுக்கணும். இதை நம்ம ஜஸ்ட் அல்ட்ராசோனோகிராம்ல பண்ணலாம். 1/16 டைலூஷன் மேல இருந்தா அல்ட்ராசோனோகிராம் பண்ணி ஹைட்ராப்ஸ் இருக்கா, எம்சிஏ பிஎஸ்வி எப்படி இருக்குன்னு பார்க்கணும். ஸோ எம்சிஏ பிஎஸ்வி வந்து அதுக்கு ஒரு கட் ஆஃப் இருக்கு, 1.5 MOM இருக்கு. அந்த 1 அவங்களே கொடுத்துருவாங்க லேப்ல. 1.5 MOMக்கு மேல இருந்தது அப்படின்னா இட் இஸ் நத்திங் டு வரி. திருப்பி ரிப்பீட் பண்ணும். எப்படி 1/16 கீழே இருந்தா ஒரி பண்ண வேண்டாமோ அதே போல இது 1.5க்கு மேல போச்சுன்னா 1.5க்கு மேல போச்சுன்னா நத்திங் ஐ மீன் 1.5 கீழே இருந்தா நத்திங் டு வரி. மேல இருந்ததுன்னா we have to do ஏதோ சம்திங் பேபி இஸ் கெட்டிங் அஃபெக்டட்னு சொல்லிட்டு என்ன பண்ணோம், திருப்பி இன்னும் எவாலுவேட் பண்ணோம். ஹவு டு எவாலுவேட், என்ன எவாலுவேட் பண்ண போறோம், வெதர் ஹீமோலைசிஸ் ஆல்ரெடி பேபிக்கு இருக்கா, அனீமியா வந்துருச்சா அப்படின்றத we have to see. So what to see னா perform கார்டோசென்டசிஸ். இப்ப அனீமியா எப்படி பார்ப்பீங்க, how to see anemia from the in the fetal blood, like we have to take from the umbilical cord ல இருந்து we have to withdraw blood and see hemoglobin, hematocrit hemoglobin we have to see. So for that we have to do invasive procedure through ultrasound guided. Ultrasound guided la you have to take blood from umbilical cord, that is perform cardosynthesis. Then cardosynthesis la you have to take blood and measure the hemoglobin, hematocrit, இதெல்லாம் blood group இதெல்லாம் we can see in the fetal blood. So if the hemoglobin is less than 10 grams na baby is anemic, she may go for high drops. So adanala we have to see infuse transfusion, blood transfusion intrauterine. When the baby is within the uterus itself we can give intrauterine transfusion, thereby preventing anemia, thereby preventing high drops. Okay, so if the fetal hemoglobin is less than 10 grams you can give intrauterine transfusion and then repeat the transfusion after 2 weeks. Every week hemoglobin more than 10 grams வர்ற வரைக்கும் infusion transfusion பண்ணிட்டே இருந்தது. Then around 35 to 36 weeks we can deliver by giving steroid கொடுத்துட்டு we can deliver. Just maturity வர்ற வரைக்கும் we have to give, postpone the days with giving intrauterine transfusion. Next slide. Next slide same இது அதேதான், இது டீடைல்டா இருக்கும். So next slide. So here we have dealt about amniocentesis. See, I said one is first group பார்க்கணும், ICT பார்க்கணும். ICT பாசிட்டிவா இருந்து டைட்டர் நிறைய இருந்ததுன்னா அல்ட்ராசோனோகிராம் பண்ணி MSV அந்த MCA PSV பார்க்கணும். அது கம்மியா இருந்ததுன்னா பிளட் ஃபீட்டல் பிளட் எடுக்கணும் கார்டோசென்டசிஸ் சொல்லிட்டு. இன்னொன்னு வந்து இதெல்லாம் வந்து சிம்பிள். இன்னொரு வந்து we have to see amniocentesis பண்ணியும் பார்க்கலாம். amniocentesis bilirubin level ஹீமோலைசிஸ்னால bilirubin elevate ஆகும் யூசுவலா ஹீமோலைசிஸ்ல. லைக் இன் லைக்கர்ல வந்து ஹீமோலைசிஸ் ஐ மீன் bilirubin elevated-ஆ இருந்ததுன்னா the baby is affected அப்படின்ட்டு we can diagnose. அதுக்கு there is a graph. இதெல்லாம் olden method amniocentesis. We mostly cardosynthesis middle cell dopplerலாம் இல்லாதப்ப they will do amniocentesis பண்ணி how much the baby is affected they will see. So just to know amniocentesis வந்து nowadays we are not using, only middle cerebral artery peak systolic velocity and the ultrasonogram picture. Next slide. Okay, this is the amniocentesis graph. I said no, how much the baby is affected, how much hemolysis has occurred, just theoretical. Next. Okay, this is a ultrasonogram picture of middle cerebral artery, peak systolic velocity. Blood flow to the brain. In anemia, blood flow will be increased. That is more than 1.5 MOM. Next. So what are the ultrasonogram picture of high drops? There will be placental thickening. Placenta will be hypertrophied, edema, because of edema. Then hepatic size, splenic size, everything will be enlarged. And there is polyhydramnios. There is, because of anemia, there is increased oozing of fluid. Next, ascites, pleural effusion, skin edema, everything will be there. This is Buddha position, Buddha, because of edema, hydrops. Next, bloated. Baby will be very much bloated. Halo around the skull will be there because of subcutaneous edema. Halo around the skull, and the baby will be bloated because of edema. So fetal hemoglobin assessment only, I said no, invasive procedure. Through a needle, we will introduce into the skin mother uterus, then into the baby, then identify the cord and withdraw blood from the cord. That is fetal blood sampling. Next slide. So if the hemoglobin is less than 10 gram, we have to give intrauterine transfusion. How we will give intrauterine transfusion? Under a strict aseptic precaution, everything we have to give O negative blood group. Sorry, so O negative blood only we have to give for intrauterine transfusion. It can be done as early as 17 weeks. See, we have to give blood. We can't give blood through like number adult through vein. We have to transfuse blood into the abdominal cavity. The RBCs will be absorbed from the abdominal cavity of the fetus. Okay, so next slide. So once you give intrauterine transfusion, repeat hemoglobin, repeat chondrosynthesis, then we have to see check the hemoglobin level. Then again we can give every 2 weeks we can transfuse intrauterine transfusion till the viability, that is maturity is reached, right? Like 34 to 35, 35 to 36 weeks. Till that time we can give repeated intrauterine transfusion based on the value of hemoglobin. Once 36 weeks is reached, we can give steroid and deliver the baby. Okay. Then the delivery is normal. RH negative kaga, there is nothing special about the mode of delivery, either vaginal or cesarean, depending upon the maternal obstetric indication, we can deliver. And till term, if it is a baby is unaffected, everything is normal, anti-D at 28 weeks, till delivery term, we can continue pregnancy, deliver at term. If the baby is affected, give intrauterine transfusion, deliver at 35 to 36 weeks, giving steroid. So after delivery, the baby needs some time, measure that they will dealt in neonatal department. So after delivery, if the baby needs bilirubin is elevated, we can give phototherapy, very much elevated, like more than 20 milligrams.
Hello. Yes.
Audible. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. You're audible, ma'am.
Okay. So bilirubin very much elevated abdina, mildly elevated needs phototherapy. Hemolysis da baby ki hemolysis. So hemolysis ki we have to give phototherapy. That is bilirubin is elevated na phototherapy. Less than 15 na we can give phototherapy. More than 15 ki mala pochina we have to give exchange transfusion. Okay. So if it is anemia, she needs blood transfusion. Next, hematenix long term, good long term outcome. So this is about RH negative pregnancy, how we will proceed. Mother, nothing to worry. Only for the baby to prevent hemolysis, anemia, hydrops fetalis, we have to take steps. Okay, first pregnancy is unaffected, mostly unaffected. If there is no prior sensitization like blood transfusion, abortion, first pregnancy, worry panna. We have to give anti-D, and then after delivery also one anti-D. For second pregnancy only, if anti-D is not given in first pregnancy, abortion la first pregnancy anti-D kudukalana, second pregnancy affect ago. After we have to evaluate whether the baby is getting affected by ICT, chondrosynthesis, MSV, middle cerebral artery, peak systolic velocity. Then depending upon the level, we have to give intrauterine transfusion. Hello?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is about RH negative pregnancy. Not, I think this is enough for you. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you for the class, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
Ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
So, we don't do amniocentesis nowadays, ma'am. So after MCA, we directly go to chondrosynthesis.
Non-invasive is better than invasive. We are getting whatever things we need, we are getting from the non-invasive procedure itself. with that we can manage the patient. Okay, so amniocentesis we are not doing nowadays, only with ultrasonogram picture and Doppler. Doppler vachi we can go for cardosynthesis. Cardosynthesis la blood hemoglobin vachi we can give blood transfusion. Only blood transfusion, nothing, no other treatment. Intrauterine blood transfusion, post-operative phototherapy and exchange transfusion. We have to change the whole blood and give fresh blood.
Okay.
That is the treatment. No other extra drugs, no other management, nothing in RH negative. Okay. We should know where all fetal-maternal hemorrhage will occur, what is the test, how much anti-D immunoglobulin, when to give anti-D immunoglobulin. This is enough.
Okay.
When to do ICT. ICT mostly for all pregnancy, even first pregnancy la first visit le பண்ணனும் RH negative க்கு. Negative na again 28 weeks la பண்ணனும். Adha titer depending upon titer 1:16 titer prakaram we have to go. If negative na nothing to worry. Positive na we have to go for next step like Doppler, ultrasonogram. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, ba. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, ba. Okay.